The candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Sheriff Oborevwori, was on Monday declared winner of the election by INEC. However, the Delta All Progressives Congress APC Campaign Council has rejected the results of the Delta State gubernatorial election held on the 18th of March as announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission. In a statement by its Director, Communications and Media Strategy, Ima Niboro, the council dismissed the result declared by INEC as a Pyrrhic victory for the People's Democratic Party, which will be overturned by the sheer weight of evidence against it. Mr. Oborevwori polled a total of 360,234 votes to defeat his closest opponent, Omo Agege of the APC, who scored 240,229 votes. The APC Campaign Council said it has evidence that the process was characterized by irregularities and that the people of the state were denied the right to freely express their will. Joining us now on the show is Honorable Ofobruku, former special advisor to Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, also a former member of Delta State House of Assembly. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, the matter speaks for itself, as they say. So what's your take on all these latest developments in your state and the APC saying they will challenge the results as the law provides?
Okay, so in one of my appearances in this studio, I think sometime last week, I did say that the elections go through certain processes. And for the Nigerian situation, we have gone through some of the processes. There's still a last stage, which is the court, as the case may be. So those of us in the APC, the leadership, the campaign council, we have reviewed all that has happened, and we think that it is very important that we explore the last stage of going to court. So we'll be challenging the outcome in court.
So let's talk about what happened during the elections. You have cited irregularities, or the APC has cited irregularities that in some areas BVAS wasn't used. In some polling units, there were 2 results that were announced, and a number of issues that marred the elections. And some of these reasons are why you'll be going to court to challenge the results. I'd like you to give us a picture of what the APC experienced and perhaps other parties experienced during the Delta elections.
Okay, so let me start from my senatorial district, the Delta Central Senatorial District. There were issues and reports of threats before the elections, and we took steps to inform the various security agencies of the threat to our supporters and even the voters. Because, first of all, PDP knows, like I said in one of my interviews, I think on this station, PDP knows that they have never done election before. In time past, from 1999 to date, it has always been what we call carry-go elections. Carry-go means you can just hijack the materials, write the result, and you can easily get a willing INEC official to declare the result in your favor. Then you tell your opponent to go to court. So that has been the practice over the years. So the introduction of BVAS and the obedient movement revolution that also caught up with Delta State now made it important for every politician to go back to base, to reach out to the people, to talk to the people, to campaign before you can get any vote. So they knew all of this. So it was really very difficult for them to begin to reach out to the people, to campaign, to solicit support. So the best they could do was to begin to threaten the voters prior to the elections. In fact, in a Ekpan community, they got some thugs to go around ringing bell in the evenings, ringing bells, announcing, if you are not going to vote for PDP, don't come out. If you're not going to the extent that even in Igbuzo, Shibli North local government, in the Delta North Senatorial District, a prominent son of Igbuzo, we even have it on video where he was saying that if you are not voting for PDP tomorrow, don't come out. So there has been a series of threats. We wrote letters to the security agencies to try to, see how they can stop this before time. But nothing was done. So on the election day, it was violence in any way. And once they get information that APC is winning in this polling unit or winning with a wide margin, they storm the polling unit. Before you know it, you hear sporadic shooting, they carry the materials, run away. The idea is that provided that result is not declared, because they know that when you declare such results, they are already on their way out. So there were a series of violence, attacks, shooting, destruction of polling materials, especially in the Delta Central Senatorial District. Then going to Delta North and a part of Delta South, we have situations where they got some persons who are supposed to be agents of the umpire. They got some persons who are supposed to be agents of the umpire, making sure that when the results come in any area where they did not win, all kind of issues are raised, petitions are raised, and the results are cancelled in those places.
Okay. Okay, so you're done with the arguments?
No. That is in some part of Delta South. For Delta North, in fact, that was the worst. I can tell you that there was no election. What they did was to compromise agents of the umpire, get the result sheets, pay the voters to go, write results, then get the umpire to announce and declare such results.
Okay, so a couple of things. I'd like to know what really happened in Orogun, because there was a case of a town crier too, saying the same for you guys too in Orogun. And if you remember, the collation of the results were greatly delayed out of Orogun. In fact, the person that was on seat announcing the results had to call out the Deputy Senate President of Yamage, which is the candidate of the APC, for some things that happened in Orogun, which our correspondent Jemima Boloko did cover, and she did state live while we're on the air. That's one. Number two, I also want you to reconcile this with the fact that you said PDP had never done elections. Yes, I accept, because that was what your candidate APC said in a BBC interview. And he said he has been a beneficiary of this rigging all this while. He said it in an interview. In fact, the BBC journalist challenged him and said, no, are you sure of what you said? He said, now me they tell you now, with the right results, we know they do it. And that was when, all of this was happening. So when you look at all of this that has happened, the arguments the PDP is making on their own side, what is going to be your rebuttal? Because all the things you're accusing the PDP of, they too are saying the APC did the same as regards violence. Not to justify that the violence is good, please don't get me wrong. I would totally repudiate any violence perpetrated or any voter suppression, which is bad for our democracy. What do you say to all that?
Okay, I hope I remember the questions, but let me start from Oborevwori again. Probably you misunderstood what he was trying to say in that BBC interview, because Oborevwori did not become candidate of PDP for any election in Delta State.
But he ran in the 2007 primary
Yes, let me finish. Yes,
so he was part of the PDP then.
Yes,
So
I said he did not become
internally,
candidate.
yes.
He ran for primaries.
Yes.
Before running for governorship in 2006 primaries, he had contested for House of Reps in the same PDP. He lost in the primaries through the usual PDP shenanigans. Before running for governor in 2006, he also lost. So he has never been PDP candidate for any elections. So he couldn't have said he wrote results and benefited from writing of results. If you look at his political history, his political trajectory, he held appointment during the James Ibori administration. When he ran for Senate, take note, he ran on the platform of Labour Party in 2015. He got into the Senate on the platform of Labour Party before migrating to the APC, because the Labour Party as at that time was more or less like an SPV, special purpose vehicle, with which he contested the election. He now went into APC, and since then, he has been in APC. What he tried to say in that interview is that he is aware that this is the pattern, this party that gave me appointment once upon a time has been using for election. I am aware too.
That the PDP used to write results?
Yes, that's why I told you on good authority that they are used to writing results, not used to people coming out to vote. You do not go and scatter, disrupt elections where you are on the winning side. It is only the loser that wants to disrupt elections. If the people are on your side, the people are with you.
Okay, so what happened in Orogun because of time?
Yes.
What happened in Orogun? Because it was also fingered for violence in Orogun, and there was a time prior to in Orogun.
It's a case of calling a dog a bad name to enhance hanging. There is one young man called Billy Egbe, who used to be his aide, that used to work with the Deputy Senate President. He fired him. That young man was the one that created that video in his hometown, Egbo Uhurie, in Ughelli South local government. That video was not shot in Orogun. That young man is today an appointee of the Okowa administration in Delta State. They used him for that purpose, to try to rattle and diminish the support base of our candidate. So they created that video at Egbo Uhurie community. You can investigate that. And started circulating it that there's a town crier. The Orogu people, they have their dialect of Orobo they speak. They have the way they speak their Orobo. If you watch that video, if you understand Orobo, you will know that the person talking is not an Orogu person. The person who made that announcement did it in the dialect of the Robos of Oborevwori, from Billy Egbe's hometown. So Billy Egbe is the producer, director, and scriptwriter of that video circulation. And we have also taken necessary steps to try to see that we bring him to book on that video. Then finally, on the issue of the issue of violence and hijacking materials and all of that, let me tell you, a very good friend of mine had a younger brother running for House of Assembly in Orogun in this past election. And because I am one of the few people that has won election back to back with minority parties in my local government, he came to me to discuss how he can win against all odds. And I kept telling him that it will be very difficult for you to win with PDP in Orogun. Why? The governorship candidate of APC is from Orogun. Then APC too gave the House of Assembly ticket to an Orogun son. So there's no issue of let us support our own or let's not support our own. All those noise about hijacking materials, hijacking INEC officials was just to justify the reason why they lost.
Honorable, all these matters are matters that will go before the tribunal.
Yes.
In any case, since it is clear that the APC will go to the tribunal.
Yes.
But if you look at it, the PDP candidate won in 21 local governments. He was able to cross the threshold of 25% in 2/3 of the total number of local governments. Your candidate won in just 4 local governments. You think you have a very strong case? And even if you think so, you used to be an ally of Governor Okowa.
Yes.
Now you're on the other side.
Yes.
Why is it so fluid for you guys to just move from one side to the other and still be very eloquent? Immediately you shift.
Good. Like I said earlier, the results are so declared are the results that are bespoke for PDP. They are tailor-made for PDP. Those results will all crumble when we get to the tribunal because we have the unit results. We will present the unit results before the tribunal. They will add up the figures and see whether what they are declaring is like I mentioned earlier. Even in the local government, Ethiopia West local government, where our former governor Chief James Ibori comes from, they had to cancel his word. They cancelled 2 words there. Like I said earlier, anywhere they see that we are winning and winning with a good margin, they get their agents who are supposed to be agents of the umpire to cancel those results. All of those cancellations will also be challenged. Then the figures they are brandishing today, those are results that were cooked up in the Kan Northeast local government and Asaba to be able to return their candidate by all means. By the time we bring the polling unit result and even the word collation results of some of these words, you discover that what they have written is completely at variance with what really transpired at the end of the day. Then on the flip side, talking about being an ally of Governor Kowa and today being on the other side, this is a democracy. And I believe
maybe
truly,
tomorrow you will show up in Apia and Labour Party after.
If you look at my political history, I contested my first election on the platform of DPP in 2011, which is Great Oborevwori as the governorship candidate. Yeah. Then in 2015, I contested on the platform of SDP. In fact, yes, I was
around a lot.
Yes,
SPV.
Well, maybe I'm a nomadic politician. I don't know. But in 2015, I ran on the platform of SDP, and I was the only person that won House of Assembly elections in Nigeria with SDP in 2015. You see, so. 2019, I was with Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. PDP. Before then,
2023, you are with APC.
Before then, I had become the candidate of APGA for House of Assembly in 2019 elections. But I had a conversation with the governor, and he pleaded with me not to go to another platform, because the elections then were very dicey, according to him. He was not too sure of what the outcome would be. So he would not have somebody like me go and split votes in my local government. So let us work together. And I obliged him. I forfeited my running on the platform of APGA. I wrote a letter of withdrawal. He made me director of admin in his campaign. I was director of the Okowa campaign, director of admin in 2019. So we worked together. But the point is this, like I've stated on different platforms, I do not believe that 2023 the presidency should go back to the north. I believe that 2023 is the turn of the south. Personally, my view is that it should be a Peter Obi slugging it out with a Tinubu, so that head or tail, we are in the south. So as soon as PDP played their game to the extent that it threw up Atiku, I already told myself that I was not going to work for Atiku.
Okay.
Then the second part of it is that I do not believe in the candidacy of Sheriff Oborevwori because he was my colleague in the assembly. He's from my place. He's somebody I know from the street. Like he said, he has street credibility. I know him from the street to the assembly. He is not my idea of who a governor should be in 2023. Like I always say, we cannot have a Soludo as a governor, neighboring governor in Anambra State. That we are talking about street credibility and SS local content as the background.
Ofobruku, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Dr.
We'll keep a watching brief on developments